Good day, brothers and sisters. Wisdom at Dawn, episode 337, Let Go of Desires, a Limited Understanding. In the following verse, in a life of suffering, if we are greedy and stingy and do not accept the Buddha's teachings of the Bodhisattva path, and instead practice the small vehicle Dharma for self-liberation, thus we distance ourselves from the great vehicle Dharma. Master says, suffering accumulates in our lives and it is painful. But if we do not accept this fact, then it reflects our state of confusion. If we contemplate deeper, everyone goes through the suffering of birth, aging, illness, and death. We also suffer from being apart from our loved ones, being together with those we hate, and being separated in life and by death. Then life is impermanent and no one can predict the changes in their own lives. Isn't this suffering? Here is a story from the Buddha's lifetime when he was at the abode in the Jetavana Grove. One morning before dawn, a heavenly lord who had already taken refuge with the Buddha wanted to come and pay respect to him. However, when he arrived, it was still dark and the Buddha was sitting in meditation. Not wanting to disturb the enlightened one, the heavenly being waited outside the dormitory. And it just so happened that he was standing close to a bhikkhu named Kokalika. Kokalika had been listening to Devadatta's slanders of Sariputra, Moggallana, and others. Kokalika took in everything that he heard, and then he spread negative things about Sariputra and Moggallana. The heavenly lord, upon hearing this, said, Kokalika, please do not slander Sariputra and Moggallana. You should have pure faith when it comes to them, as they are very pure and gentle, and they are already engaging in purifying practices. Kokalika turned around and asked, What about you? Have you taken refuge with the Buddha? Yes, I have, said the heavenly lord. I have already taken refuge with the Buddha. Kokalika then said, Well, since you have already attained the Anagamin level, you should practice never returning, implying that he should not bother himself with worldly matters. Why do you, a heavenly lord, care about our Sangha affairs? When the heavenly lord heard this, he realized he could not reason with this person, so he did not continue debating with him. Later, when he told the Buddha about this, the Buddha praised him, saying, Heavenly Lord, you are right. People like this, no matter what you say to them, they will remain attached to deviant teachings. As heard from Devadatta, so he clings to them unaware. Even during the Buddha's lifetime, there was such a heavenly Dharma protector. But even among the monastics, there were those who were stingy, greedy, and had attachments. They focused only on the suffering of samsara and sought only to awaken themselves. Their narrow minds cannot tolerate others, thus leading them further and further away from the Buddha's great Dharma. Just like Bhikkhu Kokalika, they went astray despite encountering countless Buddhas over countless lifetimes of spiritual practice, and did not penetrate this wondrous path, and were troubled by myriads of afflictions. But the Buddha did not abandon them. Even though their capabilities were limited, he still gave them the teachings about nirvana and ways to eliminate birth and death. He first used the small vehicle Dharma to calm their distracted minds, because these people could not yet accept the great nirvana to help control their discursive thoughts. The small vehicle Dharma is like a conjured city, a place to rest for a while before proceeding to the great teachings of true nirvana. As the Buddha said, we are almost there, we have arrived, rest here. This is just a convenient place for you to take a break. After reaching the conjured city, we must start off again on the broad Bodhi path. But they did not want to start the journey or renew their practice, thus clinging to cyclic existence in the six realms and troubled by afflictions. In cultivation, Master reminds us that we must always cultivate purifying practices and not be entangled by greed or stinginess, and be vigilant to ensure that we do not go against the Buddha's great Dharma. So therefore, be mindful always.感恩 for listening in. May wisdom and inspiration be with all always.